helping someone you love is actually hurting you? What if your kindness, your loyalty, your compassion, qualities you've worked so hard to cultivate, are being used against you? What if your efforts to save, fix, support, or protect are not creating peace, but creating suffering for both of you? And what if the person you're trying to help is your own family? Comment below. Have you ever felt drained or even broken after helping someone too many times? We are taught from a young age that kindness is a virtue, that helping others makes us good people. And in Buddhism, compassion karuna is one of the 4 immeasurables. But compassion without wisdom becomes attachment. Giving without discernment becomes enabling. And loyalty without boundaries becomes self-destruction. The Buddha did not teach blind generosity. He taught skillful means. He taught that intention must be matched with insight, that not everyone who asks for your hand deserves your energy, that sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is to say no, not from coldness, but from clarity. But helping others is sacred, but only when it helps. And the truth is, there are people who do not want to change, people who use your help as fuel for their dysfunction, people who drain your life force, time, and peace without any intention of growing. And it doesn't matter if they're your brother, your daughter, your lifelong friend. If your giving becomes their excuse to avoid responsibility, it is no longer compassion. It is karma being repeated, pain being recycled. The Buddha warned of false friends. He spoke of 4 kinds of people to avoid, even if they appear close: the flatterer, the taker, the gossip, the one who abandons you in difficulty. These are not enemies in disguise. They are reflections of unconsciousness. And to help someone who refuses to meet you in awareness is to invite their karma into your field. So who are the 5 types of people you should never help, even if you love them? The first, those who constantly drain your energy without making any effort to change themselves. These are the ones who always have a crisis, always have a need, always come to you for comfort, advice, or validation, but never implement a single thing. You listen for hours. You offer insight. You forgive them again. You lend money. You change your schedule. And still, they spiral. You think you're helping, but you're not. You're protecting them from their own transformation. In Buddhism, suffering is the seed of awakening, and sometimes hitting the bottom is necessary. But if you keep cushioning their fall, they will never wake up. You are not their savior. You are not their therapist. You are a soul with your own path. And if their suffering becomes your lifestyle, you've lost your way. It's not unkind to step back. It's necessary. Because when you remove your energy from their cycle, you give them the chance to face themselves. The second type, those who manipulate your compassion to avoid consequences. These people know your heart. They know you're generous. They know you'll feel guilty if you say no. And so they twist your kindness into obligation. They play victim when held accountable. They cry when you set a boundary. They remind you of the favors you owe. They say things like, family means helping no matter what. But in reality, they mean, help me avoid my own growth. The Buddha said, a fool who knows he is a fool is for that reason a wise man, but a fool who thinks he is wise is truly a fool. Those who weaponize your goodness are not confused. They are invested in your compliance, and your continued support does not uplift them. It enables their illusion. To stop helping someone who manipulates you is not cruel. It is compassionate truth, because only when they face the mirror without your comfort will they begin to see the game they've been playing. And only then can they change. The third type, those who habitually disrespect or harm you, then ask for your help as if nothing happened. You've seen this before. The friend who betrayed your trust, then asks for a favor. The sibling who speaks to you with contempt, then needs you when things go wrong. The parent who invalidated you for years, then expects support in old age without ever offering apology. Helping someone who refuses to acknowledge the pain they've caused you is an act of self-betrayal. Buddhist teacher Jack Kornfield said, "Forgiveness is giving up all hope for a better past. That means we don't have to cling to anger, but forgiveness does not mean re-entry. You can forgive someone in your heart and still never let them have access to you again, especially when they have not changed, especially when they deny what they did. Your energy is sacred. Your presence is a gift, and offering it to someone who wounds you repeatedly is not compassion. It is avoidance of the inner work required to say, I deserve peace." The fourth type, those who always compare, compete, or diminish your growth, but come around when they want something. These are the friends who never clap for you, who downplay your success, who criticize your dreams, but the moment they need a ride, or a loan, or a place to stay, they suddenly remember your number. They see your light, but they resent it, and helping them only invites more resentment, because deep down, they do not want your support. They want your light dimmed. They want you small enough to not threaten their self-image. They want to be helped by you without having to admire you. The Buddha taught mudita, sympathetic joy, the ability to rejoice in the happiness of others. But some people cannot feel joy for you because they are trapped in their own jealousy, and helping them only reinforces a one-sided connection where you give and they take. You do not owe your energy to those who celebrate your suffering and vanish in your celebration. The fifth type, those who repeatedly cross your boundaries and say, "It's just who I am." They might say it with a laugh, with guilt, with charm, but they say it every time they hurt you. And instead of growing, they expect you to adapt. The Buddha said, "Drop by drop is the water pot filled. Likewise, the wise man, gathering little by little, fills himself with good. Change is always possible. Growth is always possible, but not for those who refuse to see their impact. You are not helping someone when you let them stay unchanged in your presence. You are teaching them that your peace is negotiable, that your boundaries are flexible, that your love requires nothing. And that is not love. That is fear dressed in kindness. Helping someone who won't take responsibility for their actions teaches them that harming you has no cost. And that is not compassion. That is karma continued. You are allowed to walk away, even from family, even from long friendships, even from those who once helped you. Loyalty is not a contract to suffer endlessly. Love is not martyrdom. The Buddha walked away from his palace, not because he hated his family, but because truth mattered more than comfort. So does yours. So does yours. Your truth matters more than the role you've been assigned, more than the guilt you've inherited, more than the pressure to please. You are not here to carry everyone else's burdens at the cost of your own breath. You are not here to fix people who refuse to be still with themselves. You are here to awaken to live in truth, to love with wisdom, and to give only when your giving brings light. not exhaustion. In the Sigalovada Sutta, the Buddha described the duties of true friendship not just between friends, but between family members, parents and children, even spouses. True friends, he said, protect you when you're vulnerable, rejoice when you succeed, help you when you are in need, and speak honestly even when the truth is hard to hear. Any relationship that lacks these qualities, no matter how long it has existed, must be reevaluated. You see, in Buddhist teachings, attachment is one of the roots of suffering. And sometimes, our attachment to people, especially those we call family, blinds us to reality. We believe we must stay connected no matter what. We believe that helping is always noble, but blind helping is not compassion. It is ego. It says, I must be the one to save them. I must stay loyal, even when it hurts. But wisdom says, I can love them and still choose peace. There is a difference between supporting and sacrificing, between compassion and codependency, between empathy and entanglement. One frees both people. The other traps both in cycles of pain disguised as care. Ask yourself, what is your intention when you help? Are you helping because you truly want to, or because you're afraid not to? Are you giving from fullness or from fear? These are questions the Buddha would ask, because every action has a seed, and if the seed is fear, guilt, or attachment, the fruit will be suffering. You cannot force someone to change. You cannot walk their path for them. You can love, you can guide, you can hold space. But if your presence becomes their excuse to avoid growth, it is time to step back. And stepping back is not cruelty. It is courage. It is saying, I see your potential, but I also see your choices. I will not feed the version of you that stays asleep. I will not be a partner in your denial. I will love you from a distance if that's what it takes for us both to be free. And if the voice in your head says, but what if they hate me? Remember this. Peace is not always met with applause. Truth is not always welcomed. But the longer you abandon yourself to be liked, the more you betray your path. And no one, not even a parent or child, is worth the price of your awakening. Even the Buddha had to walk away from his family, from comfort, from expectation, not to be cold, but to see clearly. And when he returned, it was not with chains of obligation, but with presence, love, and understanding born from awakening. So if you've been helping someone for years and nothing changes, pause. If you feel empty after every conversation, reflect. If they only call when they need something, observe. If they refuse to take responsibility for their life, step back. Not in anger, not in blame, but in clarity. Because helping someone who refuses to help themselves is not service. It is distraction. Your energy is sacred. Your life is not a tool for others to misuse. You are here to grow, to heal, to serve wisely, to love deeply. Yes, but not blindly. And if you're wondering, how do I know if it's time to walk away? Listen to your body. The body always knows. The stomach tightens. The chest sinks. The shoulders rise in stress. The breath becomes shallow. These are signals. These are messengers. The Buddha taught mindfulness not just of thoughts, but of the body. Because the body tells the truth. When helping someone hurts you, that pain is not selfishness. It is a signal. And when your peace returns after distance, that is confirmation. Now, this doesn't mean you stop loving them. It doesn't mean you wish them harm. In fact, Buddhist compassion extends even to those who harm us. But compassion has form. Compassion has wisdom. And sometimes, the most compassionate act is non-participation. As Ajahn Chah once said, if you let go a little, you'll find a little peace. If you let go a lot, you'll find a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you'll find complete peace. Letting go of the need to help everyone is not failure. It is the beginning of mature compassion, because some people will only learn through their own suffering. Some only change when they can no longer outsource their pain. And you standing in the way of that suffering does not save them. It delays them. So walk away, not with bitterness, but with a prayer. May you awaken. May you find the strength to face your pain. May you remember your light. And may I no longer carry what is yours to carry. Say it gently, say it firmly, say it as often as needed. Because releasing someone doesn't mean you failed them. It means you finally chose to honor both of your paths. And when you do, something shifts. Your energy returns. Your clarity returns. And you become a better friend, a better parent, a better child, not because you sacrificed yourself, but because you chose to live in alignment. Helping others is a noble path, but only when it's rooted in truth. The Buddha didn't teach us to rescue. He taught us to see clearly, to walk with compassion and wisdom, to be free and to help others find freedom, not dependence. So remember the 5 types: the energy drainer who never changes, the manipulator who uses your compassion, the one who harms, then expects your help, the competitor who only calls when they need you, and the boundary breaker who says, "This is just who I am." You can love them, you can pray for them, but you must not lose yourself in them. Your light is meant to shine, not burn out in the darkness of those unwilling to walk their own path. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom. And the people in your life deserve the version of you who is whole, wise, and awake. So help with discernment, love with boundaries, and when needed, walk away with grace. That is not abandonment. That is wisdom. And that is Buddhist compassion in action.